Hey guys, Harry here from the Art Gear Guide. Thanks very much for joining me today. As you can see, I have a new review here from a set of pencils called, I'm probably going to butcher this name the whole way through, but it's you have to remember I am dyslexic, so I'm not very good at pronouncing names and getting the right words, the sounds of the words. I think it's Eberhard Faber. Anyway, one of the things I really love about doing this type of thing, this reviewing art products, is I'll get some of you guys will ask me and say, listen, can you review this pencil or that pencil? A lot of the times, some of the pencils that I'm asked to do, I've not particularly heard of. They might be from different countries, some of which I'm not able to get hold of. But if I am able to get hold of them, I love doing those types of reviews. I was asked to review this set of pencils. I'd never heard of them before. As soon as I seen the name, I thought, I wonder, is that connected to Faber-Castell? So, and I know a lot of you probably, I used to go into the history of some of these companies when I first started out, and people used to say, you know, just get into the review, we're not here for a history lesson, blah, blah, blah. And I get that, but I just felt that the history of this was really, really interesting. I went through it, and it turns out that it is now, I think from about 2010 or something like that, or it might be 2018, that this company here, Eberhard Faber, is now part of the Faber-Castell house. But this is one of the younger brothers. So when Faber-Castell first started out, when the man who started the company died, he had three sons. This guy here was the youngest. I think the oldest was called Johann, or the other two brothers were Luther and Johann. Again, I'm probably pronouncing those names wrong. They're German names. The oldest brother was Luther, so he took over the Faber-Castell business. Eberhard went over to New York with his young family, started up a pencil company over there, but then things happened, and then I think around about in the 80s or something like that, I think Stadler bought them out, and then they ended up coming back to the Faber-Castell house name. Now it's kind of, it's a kind of sad story, because it's about three brothers that were basically in turmoil about who was going to run the company and that type of thing. But like I say, although all three brothers ended up having their own pencil business, from what I'm led to believe, they're all under the Faber-Castell banner now. Anyway, I went and got these pencils. The pricing and all I'll have over on the Art Gear Guide, but for some reason I thought that when I first purchased this set, I thought they were like £7 or something like that. And when I was doing the links and stuff like that for here, I had a look through my Amazon purchases, and I realized that I paid I think it was £26 for this 48 set. Now they're a little bit more than that now, but like I say, the prices will be over there. But that's the kind of price bracket that they're in. So they're not artist, they're what you would class student grade. It says here that they are artist color, but I'll get into that more in a little bit. With regards to the sets that are available, there is now this brand name here, they do have quite a wide selection, mainly kids art products. They have a few student grade or artist grade, that's what they're branding these artist color pencils, but not many. And so for this particular set, there's a set of 12, 24, 36 and 48 is the largest set. So you can see here on the bottom of the tin that there is a little bit of a legend showing you the pigments that's inside the set. There's nothing really on the back of the tin, certainly not pigment related in any case, and that was one of the biggest problems I found with these pencils, but I'll get into that in a second. So as you can see here, the first image that you're seeing is the top tier of pencils, and you can see there the way they came normally when you open a set of pencils, the yellows at the far left, top tier, and then they kind of like work their way down. But this set came to me with the greys and then the browns and peaches and stuff like that. Seems a bit odd, but nevertheless, that's the way it was. And then you can see there the second tier is the blues, aquas, greens, that type of thing, and then the reds right at the very end. Now, the pencil itself, and here's where the pencils kind of like become a little bit problematic. So I'll go through the actual characteristics of the pencil. It's quite a chunky pencil when you're holding it in your hand. It's a nice balance to it. It's actually well weighted. It's a hexagonal barrel, 3.8 millimeter core, and it is 7.8 millimeter diameter all the way around the barrel. So it's quite a size. It's quite I like these bigger pencils. I'm not a big fan of the really thin type pencils, and nothing to do with just the way they hold in my hand. Nothing to do with the performance of the pencils, just the way they feel in the hand. As you can see here on the end of the pencil, there is an inch long pigment identifier. As with so many different pencils, the color on the end here does not always correlate with the color that's, I mean, they're supposed to, but they're not very close in terms of what they look like. That's always the case with so many pencils, even the really high end pencils, they get it wrong. And then along the barrel, it just says artist color and then the company name, Eberhard Faber. There's nothing else on this pencil. Now, ordinarily, I'm not a big one. I don't get all bent out of shape when there's no pigment name on the barrel. Although it is beneficial, I don't get bent out of shape about it, providing the pigment colors, the names of the pigment are somewhere else. They can be found somewhere else, whether it's on the packaging or whether it's on the company's website. There is nothing with the pigment names that I can find. And where that becomes problematic is, so I always say, if you haven't got a pigment name on the pencil, on the actual barrel, it doesn't really matter, because you can swatch the pencils out, get the pigment name from the package or the website, and make your own swatches. But here's where the problem is. So I've swatched all these out, and as you can see, there's no name or nothing like that on it. There's no correspondence. But so then when I come back to it and I'm looking at the blue pencils and stuff like that, I don't know which blue is which, and so I end up having to retest and scribble down and find out, is the blue that I have this blue? I'm looking for this one, so I need to find out which blue it is, and you've got to constantly test. That for me is a big problem. It's time consuming. It's unnecessary time spent messing about. I suppose you could come up with your own names if you wanted to, but again, that's a timely thing and something that you don't really want to be getting into when you buy a set of pencils. But that is a big issue for me with these pencils. As you can see here with the swatch, I've done kind of like a light layer and then a heavy application at the bottom there. And you can see here by looking at the swatches that the pigments are really actually quite nice. I have created a little bit of artwork with these pencils, as you can see here. And the artwork turned out okay. It wasn't, it was just something I wanted to do quick. I wanted to get it done and so that I could get another review up. Creating art with the product that I'm doing the review for is the thing that always takes the most time. Otherwise, I would be able to put the reviews out much quicker. But I do understand the value of creating a bit of art with the product, so therefore it helps to demonstrate that product as well. But that, for me, that's the biggest part that takes the time, that and the editing. But as you can see here, in any case, this is the artwork, and the colours are really nice, strong, vibrant colours. There's not very many. It's always nice when you get a set of pencils that there's a few nice pastel muted colours in there, but with a set of 48, you're not always going to find that. It's too small a set to do that, because if they did put these really muted pastel shades in a 48 set, then you would find that you were losing out in other shades, and it just wouldn't work. As always, I created a test here, and you can see here I've done the single light layer all the way down the left hand side here, 5 light layers in the middle, and then one heavy application on the right. And as you can see here, the layering ability of these pencils was flawless. I really couldn't fault the layering ability. I always do 5 light layers, but I could have gone on there with those. In fact, when I was doing the artwork, I did. There was occasions when I put maybe 6 or 7 layers of the pencil down without having to, because I personally don't use odorless mineral spirits when I'm using colored pencils. It's just a personal preference. I'm not really into it that much. With regards to the blending as well, you can see here I've created like 3 different blends. I've got a yellow and a red here. It gives you this nice orange. Blue and yellow gives you this nice green. And then I've done this red and blue, and it's giving you this kind of like nice purple color. Now, when I say about the blend, sometimes, or if you're using a pencil and it's got the pigment levels are really quite low, or the core's really hard, it's not, you don't have a lot to work with. If it's really like a bad quality pencil, when it comes to things like blending, the color that you're trying to create here in the middle, like say this yellow and red to get an orange, the orange isn't going to be that clear. It'll be more towards the red than it will be the yellow, so you'll not see the orange. And so when I do a blend test like this, and the color, especially with the red and yellow to create the orange, when the orange is clearly visible, to me that's a good sign of blending. And as you can see here, I've built these blends up with light layers, and then burnished a little bit at the very end with the darker color, and it's given me these really nice new colors, the orange, green and purple. Okay, so, and as always, I will show you what the pigments look like on some black paper. This is just to test the opaqueness or translucency of the pigments. So I'll just start out here with a red, obviously, because there's no pigment names. I'll zoom in a second, you'll be able to see. So as I'm going along here, now I'm putting heavy application down here. It's a little bit crumbly, but not much. So that was the red. This is like a grass green, I would say. Yellow. And so far the colours that I've laid down here, they're really quite translucent. They're not very opaque at all. Maybe the red, but certainly not the green and the yellow. The blue. That's quite a dark blue there. Let me see if I can get a lighter blue for you. Normally the blues are quite opaque, but there is a level of translucency in these. Now that's the same with the Faber-Castell Polychromos. They seem to be quite a translucent pencil. And then obviously the white, which I have here on the black paper. Now I didn't personally find this white to be very opaque, but I was just using it to blend and stuff like that on the artwork that I'd done. And you'll be able to see, I'll have an image of this over in the Art Gear Guide, and an image will pop up on the screen here as well. And you can see from the image that I'm showing you that I would say out of the colours that I've laid down there, I would say the red and the light blue are probably the most opaque, whereas the other colours, the darker blue, the yellow and the green and the white, are definitely translucent. And when I say translucent, that just means that you can see bits of the black pigment behind it. Once it's laid down, and although you still can see a little bit of black behind the red and the light blue, it isn't as prominent as the other colors. Okay guys, so that's my review of the Eberhard Faber. Now I would say they're definitely not artist grade quality pencils. They're not the type of pencils that you would use for commissioned work or sending work into a gallery or anything like that. I would say that these are really best used for adult colouring books, your own just pleasure, sketching at home or anything like that on a I wouldn't even use these pencils on really high quality paper, like 100% cotton paper. I would just use them for in your sketchbooks, lower type quality paper, and you're still going to get really, really good results with them. I was really pleasantly surprised with the pigment level. I was really impressed with the layering ability and the blending ability of the pencils as well. So all in all, and like I said earlier on, they feel really nice in the hand. They're well weighted. They're a nice pencil overall. And so I really enjoyed using them. They're just not what I would say are a pencil that you would use for commissioned work. Anything that you're going to sell or anything that you're going to put into a gallery. You just wouldn't use these types of pencils. But you're still going to be able to create beautiful art with them. And I would say thoroughly enjoy using them. They're not the cheapest pencils out there, but they're by no means the most expensive pencils. And I think for the price that they're going at, and the prices, like I say, are over in the Art Gear Guide, I think for the prices that they're going at, I would say that they're worth that money. But that's up to you. If you look at the tests that I've done and the artwork that I've done as well, you can hopefully draw your own conclusions from it and be able to determine that way whether you would want to get this set of pencils or not. If anybody else out there has used these pencils and has got a good or bad experience of them, please leave something in the comment section down below to let me know. If you know anything about this brand, because I did do a little bit of research about it. I really enjoyed the research because of how it was connected to Faber-Castell. But if you know, if this brand is prominent in your area, and I think it's probably going to be Europe, like Germany, France, Italy, those types of places, let me know down in the comments section. But if you equally have any questions that I haven't perhaps covered here, go across, have a look at the written review. You might get the question answered there, or failing that, just leave a question in the comments section. Or if you'd rather do it personally, you can send me an email. And my email address is always about, and I will always get back to you as well. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this review. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you all again next time. Bye.